These three interior designers have been given a photograph of an empty, functional home office. They have free reign to design it in any way they please.
My name is Laura. My design style is tailored, layered, and classically modern.
I'm Alvin, and my design style is based in 70s vintage, luxe, and all things natural.
My name is Lula. What defines my style would be problem solving in a way.
No clients, no restrictions, just blank space.
So this office is quite tiny and it's very basic and it's very white. I think a home office should definitely have a little personality, especially if you have to work in the space.
So in this space, I'm seeing a very tight arrangement. It's pretty small, but there's a beautiful window, and I love being able to walk into a room and just see right out to nature. But when you have a small space like this, I think it's really great to be able to just create like one cohesive design moment.
It's really just a tiny room that could be a walk-in closet or like a beautiful office.
So the issue with the space, I see there is a bulkhead, and because the space is all white, it tends to seem small. So the wallpaper will actually make the bulkhead disappear and actually make the space seem larger than what it is. I think go big or go home, all about the drama. I want to add this wallpaper. It's actually a grass cloth wallpaper, but it also has like a little design in it that gives the room movement and depth. It's based in black, and then it also has a little tan and a little cream. So I would actually place this on the walls and the ceiling. Talk about drama.
So this room is very cold. It's just white drywall. So I thought, how can I make this the coziest as possible? The floor is this like oak, and I thought, let's just bring the paneling up because you don't want to enclose the room, you know? You don't want to have like shelving on one side and shelving on the other. So I thought, let's just keep it open, but keep it warm and cozy, and use this very natural wood that I love, that is oak, untreated, just on the walls, like sort of up to here, because you don't want to make the space feel too short. Just like wood paneling with a nice tall baseboard, matching the same height that we're doing like all around the room.
Since this is an office space, we want to make sure that you can feel focused and productive, but also somewhat inspired. So in a small space like this, I really love to just go all in. We're going to coat the whole room in a deep dark color. Dark colors tend to make the walls recede a little bit, and when you can't see where the walls start and stop and where the ceiling starts, it makes the whole space feel bigger. There are a lot of shelves already in the room. It's a little choppy right now, so I'd like to take out those existing built-in shelves, and I think instead we should just wrap the whole room in bookshelves because that will make it feel more cohesive, more open. The room actually feels like an experience when you walk in.
On this wall, you need storage when you have an office. The idea is to wrap around with shelving all around here, and then all around here, and it's always the same wood. I was thinking about it, like you could go darker for the shelves, like doing some nice walnut, but I think it's better for such a small space to just do one wood, in this case white oak, and just do everything on that. For the low storage in the shelving, those tiny little handles, I did them for another project. They're custom, brassed and hammered, and they're super nice because it's a little curve, so it's very easy to open.
I love hardwood floors, and in this case, I think that we should do a reclaimed wood floor. It's obviously great for the environment, but it also brings in some lovely texture and makes the space feel really unique and special. And I love that it has all these natural knots in it, and it just feels really warm underfoot. So reclaimed wood is fantastic to be able to use whenever you can, because it means that it's coming from an existing building or an existing structure that's no longer needed. And so the reclaimed wood, it usually tends to feel a little bit more lived in. There's a patina to it, which really just adds a lot of character and warmth.
The floor is oak, same thing, white oak. Instead of doing like long planks, it's chevron that I think kind of elevates this very small space. And you know, a chevron is expensive, but this room is so small that I thought, okay, why not?
So for the flooring, I'm gonna go with a wide plank white oak flooring. I think it really complements the wallpaper nicely, and the wider the plank, I feel like it'll just make the space feel larger. Currently, it has like these little small planks, and you can really see the division in the planks. I think the wider, the better, to just make the floor seem more seamless. Now, although I would do a wide white oak flooring, you need a rug. So I would do a rug just to soften up the floor a little bit. So if you're walking barefooted, you need something soft under the feet.
And then the rug It's from my own collection that I did with Art and Loom in Miami. We did 4 different designs. This one that is called Lost Islands. It's this like shape of a rock. It's kind of Japanese Zen garden. And you have like 2 different pile heights. And then you have like this shape of this island.
This is just a vintage rug that's a runner, but as inspiration for color, I think we should bring in something that has a muted sort of neutral palette. And I think that would work really well with a really deep, lovely green.
As you enter, because the door is right here, it's nice to see a window. So I flipped the window.
So right now, the window is right justified. I want to remove the built-in bookcase to create more floor space and also move the window to the left. By moving the window to the left, you create more wall space.
So I love it when a room has a beautiful natural light. And this space is very small, but this window is just, you know, a center of attention when you first walk in. So your eye is gonna go straight out that window, and I don't wanna block the view. So we're just gonna do a Roman shade in this lovely sort of flex colored linen. And it's gonna have this beautiful draping across the window. It's gonna feel really soft, and it will filter the light, but it's not gonna block any of your views.
The general palette for the office, I chose it to be warm and with like some hints of colors. For the curtain, I discovered this wonderful artist. His name is Adam Pogue. Everything is handmade, and this is a very like beautiful quilt that I thought, why not put it here on these drapes?
I want to add a curtain, just in basic linen, like a cream linen, because that gives it more texture and it also softens up the space. Everything in the room right now is such hard lines, and drapes always soften up a space.
Basically, I don't think this situation, it's a happy situation to be working in. You don't want to be sitting on a desk looking at a wall. So the desk goes, and like the concept of the desk being the main space where you're going to be working at for this office is also gone. And I'm actually bringing the desk up to here. You don't see it in the frame, but it's just as you like enter, you will have like a small desk.
This space is quite small, and in a small space, I love to take advantage of every square inch. And I think that the best way for us to do that is to remove everything that's in the current space. And then I think that we should actually have the desk wrap around in front of the window. And I think that what that's going to do is allow the person who's in the room to be able to look out the window. So a desk like this is going to give you a lot of counter space, but I also really wanted to highlight the wood. So what I'm looking at is a walnut, and walnut has a lot of beautiful natural variation in it. A lot of times people want to cut out that natural variation and just use a really smooth finished piece like this one. But as you can see here in this bowl, there's a sapwood in walnut as well, and that natural variation I think is just beautiful. So I would try to make sure that we can have a carpenter who can make this and bring the natural sapwood right along that front edge, which I think will be a beautiful way to highlight the desk. And so then as you're looking out this window, you know, you can have your chair here, and that will just make such a lovely vignette as you're walking into the space as well.
In the previous design, the desk was on the left wall, facing the wall. I think people are more productive if they work in front of a window. You get the natural light, and you can look out the window and just dream and be creative. So I actually placed the desk under the window with a comfy chair. So when you work, you can look out the window and not look at a wall, because who wants to look at a wall when you're trying to work? Currently, there's a bookshelf here. I think a day bed would be great because it's an office. Sometimes you need some place to sit and lounge. And let's be honest, there's not enough space for a full sofa. So a day bed gives us that space that we need to relax and lounge, but it also doesn't take up as much visual space with it not having a back. So I think the day bed is perfect for here. And if you have a guest and they need to stay over, the day bed is perfect.
One of the main ideas I had was that most people don't need a giant computer and they work with their laptops. So I thought, let's just use this office around that and create a very comfortable seating space. Let's just do an L that wraps around so you can sit like behind the window and you get all this beautiful natural light as you're sitting behind the window. And then if you do an L, you can actually like lounge next to the open shelving.
So the bureau on the left is actually a big brutalist piece by Kelly Wearstler, and I just love it. It's big and it's stately and it's beautiful. And most people think you shouldn't go big in a small space like this, but you need storage and it makes a statement in this room. So I love it. And it also picks up on the wood from the floor, the pattern in the wallpaper. It just brings it all together.
The issue with this room, once you strip it down is you have 2 long walls and it almost looks like a hallway. In order to avoid this like hallway feeling of entering a room, what I decided was it needs to be split. So why not have a fireplace in your office if you're gonna be spending so much time there in the winter? Basically, you bump up this wall, you create the fireplace here. So the idea is just to use this to break the room in half. And I thought very subtle on like a deep gray, like this one, honed, and then go with a very deep color for the top of the fireplace. Something like this, deep red, will really bring a strong feature that you're gonna like enter and see. And then at the same time, go well with all the rest of the warm tones that I picked.
I think for lighting, I'll choose a Noguchi pendant lamp because it's round and it gives off a nice glow at night. You don't want harsh light. This gives off a nice glow to the room. And because the room is so rectangular, you do need something round to just round it off and soften it up again.
For the lighting in the space, we obviously want task lighting. So we have a beautiful desk lamp in the space, which I think is going to really just create like almost like a mini sculpture as you're looking at that vignette towards the end of the room. But I really think it's beautiful to have not just recessed lights in this space, but decorative lighting overhead as well. So this decorative light is handmade in South Africa by 54 Kibo Designs, right in front of the window. So the light will come through and you'll be able to see all the decorative features and all the details.
I chose to not have any overhead lighting. It's not a nice type of light, I think, when you're working. So there are like little lamps all around the room. And the one that you see all the way to the back is from Lights on Exchange. It's like a very textural waxed paper. It gives a very nice, like warm, orangey light.
Another light that's important in the office is task lighting. So on the desk, I would add a lamp for task lighting when you're working and you just really don't want the overhead light or there's no natural light coming through the window.
My favorite objects here, it's all the way at the back, this Valentine Schlegel sculpture, white, that is just sort of like 3 people dancing. And then also on the fireplace, I decided to put all the signs of the zodiac that will be in something like casted on like a deep brass and just mounted on the wall.
So over the day bed, I would do a mirror, probably in this bronze mirror here. Again, going back to the warmth of the room, the bronze mirror will also reflect the warmth of the light. And across from that, over the bureau, there's a television because sometimes you need to watch TV while you're working. If it doubles as a guest room, your guests can watch TV.
So this is ultimately an office and we want to make sure that it's really functional and usable for whoever's in here. We need a screen in the space, but instead of having it on the desk, taking up desk space, I think that we should actually put it on the wall. And putting it on the wall means that it can be bigger and it can sit really flush to the wall if it's a Samsung frame TV. They're basically like a piece of art on the wall because when you're not using it, you can project artwork. It sits very flush to the wall. We have a wood frame on the outside of it, so it feels like a decorative piece rather than a functional TV.
In the bottom, there's a tissue holder from my friend Susan Alexandra. Next to it is this like super cute cup that I also have as well from her, some books. On the upper shelf, you will see 2 bronze sculptures by another friend of mine, Connie. And this is all like mishmash with magazines, books, pencils, any kind of office supply you could ever imagine.
So in any space that I design, I love to make sure that it's not just aesthetically beautiful, but that it also promotes wellness and a good state of mind and good health. And so greenery has been proven to lower your blood pressure, to make you feel good in the space. And so what I think we'll do is we'll have some wall plantings and those will be next to the window. So we'll get lots of natural light there. And then we can bring in a floor lamp and I can also do some plants on the shelf.
Overall, I think this home office will inspire. It has great movement, great depth. It's a tiny space, let's be honest, but I think a well-designed space will promote productivity.
I love how this space came together. I love creating a really intimate small space, creating sort of like a jewel box. And so this dark color makes the space feel more expansive. You're not seeing the corners of the room. Your eye doesn't stop and start. But I also love the big long bookcase on one side and the desk that wraps around for so much usable space.
I would love to have this space as my own office because I think it's very comfortable to just not be sitting on a desk all day. Ideas flow better when you are not sitting stiff against the monitor. I really like this sort of rethinking the layout of what an office should be like, and it's not centered on the desk.
Wow.
So
So
cool.
different.
I know, they're so different.
Wait, is that a fireplace?
Yep. I took like a lot of licenses. I have no TV.
Yeah.
Because I'm not American.
This is
I guess.
beautiful.
Well, it's like a computer screen.
Right, yeah, it doubles as a computer screen.
Smart. I love your day bed, but is there a space between the storage and the desk?
Yeah, there's actually space back here. I know it doesn't look like it, but there's a little space back there. I love the use of green in your space. I love all the plant life. It just really makes the space very livable. I absolutely love it. I love the open shelving. I love it all.
Thank you. Appreciate it.
I'd work there.
So is this a wallpaper? Because
Yes.
it's absolutely amazing.
Yes, it's a wallpaper, and I decided to just go crazy, cover the ceiling, cover all the walls.
I love that you took it up onto the ceiling and onto the back wall as well. I feel like when you just have a moment and you're just like all in, it's daring, but it works. It makes the space feel like very cohesive.
Thank you. I love how you did the open shelving and all the storage on both walls, and I love the built-ins here. Is this wallpaper? What is that?
This is actually a very deep paint, and what you see here is, I'm very into astrology, so it's all the signs of the zodiac casted in like brass, you know, like mounted here and there.
And I love the fireplace.
I know. I mean,
Sick.
to have a fireplace in your office.
I mean, why not?